That's interpreter speaking in English channel. How do you read me? That's interpreter speaking in English channel. Do you read me loud and clear? Do you read me loud and clear? Or not? In English channel? Okay.
Want me also?
So, welcome to this press conference after the Nordic-Ukrainian Summit here in Oslo. First, we will have a short statement from all the leaders, and then we will open up for questions. The first speaker is the Prime Minister of Norway, Jonas Gahr Støre.
Good afternoon, everybody. It is a great pleasure and honor for me, on behalf of the Nordic Five, to welcome President Zelenskyy, Volodymyr, to Oslo, to the north of Europe, and to the Nordic community. This is a follow-up from our meeting in Helsinki in May. We've had many bilateral exchanges between our countries and Ukraine, but there's a specific significance of being united in the Nordic family and welcoming the President of the free and independent Ukraine. This morning we've had a discussion on how we can confirm, maintain and increase our support to Ukraine at this very critical moment of Ukraine's fight for its own independence and freedom. We make all of us contributions to Ukraine's struggle: military support, economic support, humanitarian support. What I would like to underline is the political support and the unity of message from the populations of the Nordic countries. We all represent countries where there is broad unanimity in support of Ukraine and the Ukrainian people's struggle for freedom. The courage and resilience of the people of Ukraine continue to impress the world. This morning we learned about new missiles falling over Ukrainian cities. We aim our military support towards the defense of Ukraine, especially from attacks coming from missiles, coming from rockets, and we will continue this robust political humanitarian support for the long run. So, President Zelenskyy, we support your peace formula. We have been having good exchanges with you here today, and I'm happy to give you the floor, and then my colleagues will also make short statements. So, President Zelenskyy,
thank you so much, Jonas. Thank you for the invitation again, dear leaders, journalists, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad that our second summit, Ukraine plus Nordic Europe, is happening right on time and with full respect for our Europe, each of our countries and people's interests. The essence of the free world is caring for our community, our country and people's interests. And in Europe, this is exactly what we do. And we are protecting our way of life from a completely different, opposing system, one where only the interests of a single, irrational person matter, the one with all the power in Russia. And if he wants, he starts wars. If he dreams of an empire, hundreds of thousands of lives are lost to his delusions. And we must keep our pressure on him and his system so that he feels the losses and realize he must respect us, respect Europe, respect international law, freedom, our freedom, freedom of all the nations. Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to thank each leader and country for yours real huge support. Jonas, Prime Minister, thank you very much. For Norway's leadership in supporting Ukraine in defense, financing and politics. Special thanks for the air defense support and the new air defense system. This is great news for all of us, for our families, our people, our children. Thank you so much. President of Finland, thank you for the 21 packages of defense aid for our warriors and for doubling artillery ammunition production in Finland. This support is crucial not just for our freedom but also for other European nations sharing a border with Russia who are understanding what the threat is. Thank you. Prime Minister of Denmark, dear Mette, I want to especially recognize your country's patronage of rebuilding one of our regions, Mykolaiv and its region, and I'm grateful for creating the Ukraine Support Fund and leading the Aviation Coalition Initiative. Thank you for another huge package. Thank you so much. Prime Minister of Iceland, your principled stance on holding Russia accountable for aggression and establishing the registry of damages during Iceland's Council of Europe presidency is valuable. Together we will restore justice, and thank for your decision long-term support. Prime Minister of Sweden, thank you for 14 packages of defense aid for Archers, IRIS-T and powerful CV-90s. We value your active support for Ukraine at the European institutional level. And I believe the day will come when Sweden's voice in the alliance will strongly support also our membership. And thank you all for your support. Thank you again for invitation, and I'm confident that as long as we are united and as long as Europe cares about unity, Russia will not break the freedom of our peoples. Slava Ukraini.
Mr. President, thank you. President Niinistö.
Thank you. Good afternoon. It is very important that we Nordic countries can together reflect our strong support to Ukraine. Thank you, Jonas, for continuing the tradition we started in Helsinki. The results today have been more understanding and even more united, even stronger support to Ukraine. Finland has done its share. We are now preparing our 21st aid package, which consists of armament. And I would point out that what we need here in Europe is that we have to take seriously the production, industrial production of armament. Finland is doing its best. Now we are doubling the produce of ammunition so that we are more prepared for the future. Unfortunately, times have changed. We are not living anymore in a Europe which always lives in peace and security. When things change, we have to learn to change also ourselves and our thinking. It is very important, like you said, that we support fully the just and fair and lasting peace for Ukraine. And in that purpose, Finland is participating to the 10 points peace agreement, and hope that leads to peace.
Thank you, Mr. President. Prime Minister Jakobsdóttir from Iceland.
Thank you, Jonas. Thank you for hosting us here in Oslo, and thank you, Volodymyr, for being with us. It has been a really meaningful meeting, and I think it's very important to underscore the strong and steadfast support of the Nordic countries to a free and independent Ukraine. The Nordic countries individually and as a group stand with the people of Ukraine, and we will continue to do so. We have issued a joint statement which demonstrates our contribution and support. Obviously, the nature of Iceland's support is predominantly civilian, but from day one we have provided political support everywhere we have been able to do so in the international fora. We have fully aligned with EU sanctions and given economic, humanitarian, energy-related, as well as security and defense-related support. Last month, we delivered a fully equipped field hospital to Ukraine to provide life-saving support for wounded soldiers, and now we are working on plans to allocate support to Ukraine in 2024 and making a long-term plan for support to Ukraine for the next years. And that funding will be used to strengthen our civilian contribution and focusing also on what Ukraine needs in the next months and years. We have joint international measures to ensure accountability, because peace won't be achieved unless we also achieve justice. And I think this is important. We are participating in the core group at the UN on the establishment of a special tribunal for the crime of aggression. And the register of damage that Volodymyr mentioned here earlier was one of the main outcomes of the Reykjavik summit of the Council of Europe. And now we actually are seeing that work progressing. where we now have a board of the register, and we are seeing that they are working in very close cooperation with the Ukrainian director in the project to further developing and strengthening that project. And I would like to add that we are very supportive of Ukraine's ambitions that they will have a say on their future within Europe and within the Euro-Atlantic collaboration. So we support them fully in that. The war must come to an end, and we fully support Ukraine in that ongoing process, and that is our common goal for a free and independent Ukraine.
Thank you, Katrin. Prime Minister Frederiksen from Denmark.
Thank you, Jonas, for giving us this opportunity to underline that all Nordic countries stand firmly with Ukraine. We have supported Ukraine from the very beginning of this war with weapons, civilian and humanitarian support. We are now at a crucial point in the war, and we need to make sure that Ukraine has what it needs to continue its fight. It goes for today, tomorrow, and in the years to come. And that's why we are working closely together with allies and partners to establish also a long-term security commitment. Putin needs to know that he cannot win this war. We stand firmly behind Ukraine. In Denmark, we have committed more than 8 billion euro now in supporting Ukraine, and we will provide F-16s together with partners. Tomorrow, my government will present a new military donation package to the Danish Parliament. The package will be of almost 1 billion euro. If approved, it will include some of the things that Ukraine needs right now, like ammunition, tanks, drones, and other equipment important for the ongoing fight. Now, it is not time to tie down from a war that brave Ukraine soldiers are fighting every day. So we need to underline the European perspective and that Ukraine belongs to our transatlantic community. And there is no doubt we will support Ukraine's fight as long as it is needed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mette. Prime Minister Kristersson, Sweden. Ulf, please.
Jonas, thanks for hosting us, and Volodymyr, thanks for being here. You know that you have the deepest respect for you and for the Ukrainian people and your tireless defense against Russia's aggression. When we say that you are fighting for your own country's safety and survival, but also for Europe's democracies, we really mean it. We are in a very serious situation right now. This is a crucial time for both short and long-term support to Ukraine. In short term, urgent support is needed for this winter, this second war winter. And tomorrow the Swedish government will approve a winter package for your civil infrastructure. In the long term, this steadfast Nordic support will continue. But also Europe and EU is key, and tomorrow European Council will discuss the EU budget and enlargement. Continued financial support for Ukraine is the very most important question for us on tomorrow's and Friday's and perhaps Saturday's meeting. And to underline again that Ukraine's future is within the European Union. Thank you so much.
So now we open up for questions, and the first question comes from Morten Jentoft, the Norwegian Broadcasting.
Yes, first question for Mr. President from Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelenskyy. Yesterday we saw in the news that some US generals working with Ukraine said that now it's time for Ukraine to defend themselves. It's not the time for offensive. Do you agree that the military situation now is so critical that the most important for Ukraine is now to keep the front line, to defend itself? And second question for you, are you very disappointed that you didn't get any clear promises from your visit in the United States? Thank you. Jackie.
Can I answer? Да. Дякую за запитання. Щодо заяви Генерального Сполучених Штатів, деяких осіб, деяких військових, я вам скажу так, в будь-якому випадку це не про кризу, це про зиму, і взиму завжди уповільнюються ті чи інші операції, контрнаступальні чи оборонні. І тому я думаю, що цей сигнал пов'язаний саме з цим. Тобто ми розуміємо, що у Росії не було ніяких перемог в цьому році, вони нічого не змогли окупувати. А взимку все уповільнюється через багато різних причин. Ми говоримо про оборону саме сходу нашої держави, тому що більшість сьогодні військ Російської Федерації зосереджена там. Вони спробували там дуже багато разів, де минулого року було розбито угруповання вагнерівців, з 20 тисяч було вбито, і тепер вони туди відіслали велику кількість своїх військ. Тобто ми говоримо вже про сотні тисяч військових. І тому найголовніше там стримувати їх і знищувати їх на нашій землі. Що стосується перемоги, всі говорять про великий успіх на морі, який дійсно був. Я вважаю, що це успіх для наших українських військових і для людей. І дійсно розблоковано Чорне море, витиснене флот Російської Федерації з Чорного моря, і це успіх. Треба готуватись до наступних операцій. Ось про що. Що стосується другого вашого питання щодо вчорашнього, навпаки, і з конгресменами, і з сенаторами, і з представниками обох партій, і з адміністрацією президента, і з ним особисто, і від спікера Сполучених Штатів я отримав позитивний сигнал щодо підтримки України допомогою Сполучених Штатів. Є вплив щодо термінів, вплив внутрішньої політичної ситуації, безумовно, він є, безумовно, така є ситуація, але впевненість у всіх є.
The next question goes to Bolholm, Swedish news agency TT.
My question is also for President Zelensky. And do you feel that the international support for the Ukraine is starting to fail? And what is the most important thing that Europe can do for the Ukraine right now?
Here I don't feel it. And I'm very happy that we have such strong partners, Nordic countries. What Europe can do the same, what Nordic countries do.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
The next question comes from Kita Kuhonen, MTV Finland.
Hello, and this question is also for President Zelensky. You met Prime Minister Viktor Orban a few days ago, and you had a discussion. What did you discuss, and what, in your opinion, is Orban's motive for his actions towards Ukraine?
Thank you so much. I can't tell you that it was a special meeting. I mean, we had dialogue. Yes, it's true. And I think we have to organize very constructive meeting between our countries because we have common borders. I mean, we are neighbors. We have to speak. And that is one of the very important topic what I raised up with him, that we have to speak, we have to meet, and we have to decide any problems. But I really don't see something global problems. I don't see them. That's why we need just to meet. And I showed him my positive attitude to it. That second, where I think I was right and very direct. The key is very direct to him, that he has no any reasons to block Ukrainian membership in EU. And I asked him to tell me one reason, not 3, 5, 10. Tell me one reason. I'm waiting for answer. Thank you.
And the last question goes to Fredrik Fogde from the Danish news agency Ritzau.
You obviously have a lot of support of the Nordic countries, but in some other countries there talks about maybe not giving the same amount of donations, about money in the forthcoming months. Is this a concern for you going into 2024, also in terms, of regaining peace at some point without giving away any territory?
Neighboring with Russia, that is the problem. Everything else, it's difficult situations, which we will manage. Thank you so much.
So this concludes this press conference. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jonas. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonas.
Thank you.
Only 2 months.
But I will give you a call.
Yeah.
Okay. See you. Ungefär när då? Якби капстати.